journalists, several people spoke to me.
Oh, they did, didn't you?
It's sort of looking at me and I'm thinking, I mean, I might have known you when you were younger.
Every one special.
Yeah.
What is Mark? Is he still around?
No, Mark passed away many years ago.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wonderful
prematurely.
character, Mark.
Oh, what a character.
A button salesman, wasn't
That's
he?
it. Yeah.
I always remember those days.
Yeah, this is Nick Pittett.
Yeah, we met
me.
yeah.
He's a character. So we got to keep the characters all in
You
one
were with
spot.
Mark, were you?
Yeah, I drove the car. He took
What,
the...
a stagecoach, was that one?
No, we beat Stagecoach in the final in 1967.
You're still racing there.
Yeah, that's right. You were there.
Yeah.
I met you then when I was a kid.
The only one from the early days was a little photograph there, and you can just see Alan Herridge in there.
Yeah.
He was killed at Santa Claus, wasn't he?
Yeah. Very sad moment that was. Yeah.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I was in America. But yeah, I had a lot to do with it.
I said to somebody in Mark Stratton, and they said, I don't know. I said, yes, he was one of the innovators, really. He had that mini pickup, didn't he? He put a V8 in the back.
Oh,
That was Colin Ketley, wasn't it? It was him
yeah,
and
that
he.
was Ketley.
Him and he.
I'm going to give you my card because I'd like you to email me because I have a few photographs I want to send you. If I can get this up without having to get a deck of them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So it's been a while. It's a small world.
It is, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
Your name has come up so many times over the years. I said, oh yeah, that bugger.
it was all good fun in those early days, wasn't it?
It was.
All right, we were competitive, but we helped each other out.
It was a real camaraderie deal.
Yes, there was.
Because we weren't serious, because we were hobbyists as opposed to trying to
I
be
remember
professionals.
one year, this was in the early 60s, because we used to race, I think we were at Oak Grave Aerodrome.
Where David Owen had his house. He's the one who organized it.
Is that ring
David
a bell?
Owen. Yeah, he's the one who wrote the first rule book
Yeah.
for John Bennett.
Yeah.
And then Bennett published it in 1968.
I spoke to John Bennett 12 months ago, but he didn't want to know us, really.
Yeah, well, he'd pretty been distanced himself.
He's dead now, I think.
Yeah, he distanced
Yeah, I
himself.
think it all went pear-shaped for him, didn't it, in he and Anne?
Yeah, that was a real
I mean,
shame.
really, between he and Sidney Allard, we've got them to thank for drag race in those early days.
Absolutely.
When John took he bit the bullet, really, he took the lease on Santa Pod. And he didn't really know it was going to work, but it did.
No, he was a real innovator.
Yeah,
He really felt that he had something to do, and he did it.
yes.
But obviously these things...
I don't know what went wrong at the end, why he got kicked out here now.
I think that was a family affair called... It was a family affair called Phelps.
Yes, that was his co-director, wasn't it?
It was his relative. He was his uncle.
I never knew that.
Yeah, they were related family.
That's where it went wrong with it.
Well, when it got political, Mr. Phelps was financing a lot of what was going on. And therefore, he felt it was suitable for him to step down.
Yeah.
And then the Phelps just took over running the
I
facility.
never knew that.
I know it's very much an unsaid thing because John didn't go around blowing a trumpet about it. He just said, well,
Kept that very quiet.
yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
From his paint spray business and tin bashing at White Horse Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was all those years before
Yeah.
they were doing that. You know, we used to make go-karts and fiberglass boats
Yes.
before he got
He used to
into it.
repair Reliant, didn't
Many
he?
talents,
He
really.
used to repair the freewheeler Reliant.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an innovator of those days.
So a lot of the cars he built had Reliant parts on them, didn't they? Like the Glowworm Capri had Reliant.
Yeah, there was always those
suspension.
hand-me-downs that he used.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's nice meeting you.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you filled me in on Mark Stratton Club. I said it to John Hunt, Mark Stratton, and the name did ring a bell with him, but he didn't know him very well. You know.
Well, that was before his time.
It was.
The thing is, if you can send me an email, I'll send you some photographs of Mark Stratton
I'll keep in contact with him.
and give you a little story about all that side of it.
The only one that we are in contact with from that era is Rick Wheeler,
Yeah,
Scorpion.
yeah, I remember that
I suppose really you could say that would be the first rear engine
car. See, Doug Church didn't have it.
No.
and Hilbert engine in the back end.
Him and
Yeah,
Tony
yeah.
Gain.
You know, he told me he never realised how dangerous the sport was because all the way down the strip, as you know, is the Armco barrier
Yeah.
with a gap underneath it.
That's right.
The gap was such that each Scorpion would have gone underneath it.
Indeed. Yeah.
He said we
yeah.
never realised it. He measured it one day.
Scared the hell out of
He
him.
would have taken my bloody head off, he said.
Well.
We never thought of that.
There you go.
We did all daft things.
Yeah, we did some crazy things.
So,
We did some crazy things when we were young.
and experiments. And we tried it out.
When you first set foot on Santa Pod soil, how old were you?
Well,
60,
I was born in 33.
33.
Yeah,
Crikey.
I'm 91 now.
You're doing quite well.
Yeah. Very
I
well.
drove all the way here.
I'm only 81, so
Always got 10 years.
You're a youngster.
I got some time to go.
Yeah. The important thing is to keep active, keep the brain going.
Yeah, don't give up the ship.
And people say, oh, I'm going to, when you retire, what are you going to do? I'll do some decorating and gardening. I said, that's the worst bloody thing. You've got to get out in the workshop and do crazy things.
Make your muscles ache, as they say.
Karina has disappeared at this moment. Who really should be taking the credit in doing the speeches, but I think has had stage fright. So thank you for everything you've done, Karina. So you'll have to listen to me for a moment. I know a lot of you have travelled long distances to be here, and we're very grateful for you all for coming. And the number of people we see here today really gives us an insight into the drag racing community that we've experienced working with as a museum, close-knit, supportive and extremely passionate group of people about the sport and their history. And we hope this exhibition is in some way a fitting tribute to the history of drag racing in Britain. The background to the exhibition is that John Hunt and the British drag racing historians first contacted Doug Hill, our museum manager and chief engineer, about the vast collections that exist about the history of drag racing, and then that led to Karina becoming involved about 2 years ago. And since then they've been meeting, working with all our curatorial team and our archivists and our AV team to curate this exhibition. For us as a museum, it's our first endeavour into a co-curated, community-curated exhibition. Normally, as a museum, we tell the people what we think they should know. In this instance, we're trying to be more democratic and inclusive, so it's been a learning curve for us as a museum, and that's made it an interesting and at times challenging experience for everyone. And we thank you for going through this learning process with us, and we think the result has turned out well, and I hope you do too. We wanted to give the opportunity to co-create this exhibition and showcase these collections, and I think we've achieved something that begins to really tell those stories, particularly bringing them together from right across the country. So we've been a really spread out exercise, so it's really brilliant to have everything here today. I think we've learned a lot, both about the history of drag racing and this type of work, and we're really pleased with how it's all come together. There are some special thanks, particularly to John Hunt and Nick Pettit from the British Drag Racing Historians, who've been extremely generous with their time, their support on the project, helping write the text, the images, loaning items from their personal collection. So thank you very much to those two gentlemen. And also thanks to a number of other lenders for providing items and support for the display. And that includes Ian Bartlett, Robbie Smith, Michael Wheeler, Sheila Sparrow and Stephen Thorpe, David Riswick, John Wolfe Racing Archives Limited, Gavin Allard and his family, and the Allard Archive, and Simon Belton. Without all of you, this really could never have happened. So thank you very much indeed. I hope you'll give yourselves a very large round of applause. If I could now introduce Lord Montague of Beaulieu, he will say a few words about the exhibition and about being here at Beaulieu.
Welcome everyone. I know there are a number of members of the Allard family here, and I'm sorry I haven't actually shaken hands with you yet, but I'm delighted you're here because the Chrysler Allard is a car that I do think of as iconic. I think that term is much overused, but I do believe that in my own sort of visual memory, that Chrysler Allard is one of those images that sticks in one's mind. And of course it actually represents the beginning of a movement which came, as I understand it, from America, which we're celebrating today with this exhibition 60 years on. That's right, isn't it? It is 60 years. Yes. I mean, it's a wonderful example, I think, of, this is in a sense a microcosm of motoring history, but a microcosm that is very rich and has its own stories to tell. Most of you know all about drag racing, but a lot of our visitors won't know much about it, but they will know a lot more after they've visited this gallery. So thank you all very much for coming, and I'm delighted to declare the exhibition open. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Montague. I should also just take a moment to thank the National Lottery Heritage Fund, who helped pay for the exhibition, and all of those of you who play the lottery. Thank you very much. If you now take a walk over to the startup area, we're going to start the Allard Chrysler. So there are earplugs available, or not, depending on what you want. And then after that, there are refreshments in the Brabazon, and do take your time to come and enjoy the exhibition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just to let you know, everybody, we're turning it over now to get the oil pressure up before we actually start it. If we started it with no oil pressure, we'd wreck it in 20 seconds. So that's why we're just trying to get the oil up through it.
walk around.
Do you want to shoulder the other side?
I hadn't actually.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Yep. 10 quid to get out.
10 quid? Oh, it's 100 quid to get out. Can't find them, don't worry.
Good.
I wish you the best to get out of that.
We're in a happy place.
Not easy. Get me hauled out.
Exactly.
Oh, how lovely.
Exactly, with a diff keeping you warm in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. The clutch works, does it? Where's Sid? Sid, the clutch works, does it?
Yeah.
Fairly hefty old push.
Yeah, they're all push. What size engine is it?
354 cubic inch.
9.6 litres. Yeah. What rate horsepower?
Sufficient.
It's a Rolls Royce engine.
I could get it, perhaps.
Yeah.
I try and remember how to do it
You know
now.
what the best time was it's ever done?
10.2 seconds.
It's 10.2.
Yeah, 10.28, I think. Best I ever did it. Well, best it ever did. Yeah. We transferred the engine to the new dragster.
Yes.
And that did, I did 9 seconds in that.
Right. Yeah.
And no one ever beat that, even
No.
if I did pieces.
Did 9-0.
Make another piece.
You got a 9-0 out of the other car, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No record attack. Yeah, it's quite a thrill, I can tell you. Well, they're nothing to what they're doing now.
Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I just think of seeing that steering wheel, the tractor, and seeing how low you drop down.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was made for my father, you see, and he dropped right down.
I know.
Even in the Dragon. Well, he never drove the Dragon.
What?
He never drove the Dragon, my father.
No,
He
no.
only drove this.
Yes.
In fact, he didn't drive the second Dragster either. I'm the one who drove them all.
Yeah.
Rob drove this Dragon. You didn't drive the big Dragster, did you?
No.
You drove the Works Dragon, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Because you didn't like it at first, did you? Is that right? When you first
Well,
tried
so
it?
Chris tells me. Chris,
Yeah.
what's his surname?
Chris Pattison.
Pattison.
Yeah.
He tells me, he also tells me something I have no recollection of,
Yeah.
that in the paddock area,
Yes.
I turned it
Yes.
and drove it into an empty oil drum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, as long as it was
know.
empty, it's all right.
I know at Blackbush, do you remember we had a wet day in the rain at
Yes,
Blackbush?
that's right. It
Was
was
that
horrible.
the first or second
That was the second
year?
drag festival,
Was it?
65. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I do remember it turned round on me as I went to approach the timing lights at the end.
Right.
The Dragon turned around.
Yeah.
Started to turn round on me.
Yeah.
And it went through the lights, but it took out something, a cable, after it had triggered the lights.
I had to go in the big dragster in the wet
Yes,
as well.
yes.
That was horrendous.
Where your rally driving came in
all
handy,
the way
didn't
I
it?
was like this spray. I couldn't see much.
No.
Yeah, well, that's what, even the little Dragon.
Yeah, it's the
But we had almost the fastest, I think we had the fastest time of day, 13 seconds.
Oh, it's pretty good, yeah.
For the wet,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say hello. My name's Dave Riswick.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know your name from the past.
How do you do?
You're well known in drag racing.
Yeah, I'm notorious for the wrong reasons. But I just thought I'd better shake hands with a few of the experts.
Yes, we're still around just about.
Well, it's been a few days.
Yeah, it's a long,
But this is
amazing, it's 60 years.
I'm rebuilding the car you just said you drove.
Yes.
It's in 65.
What, the second
The
dragster?
second.
Yeah, Mark
Really?
II.
I thought
Chassis.
Clive scrapped this and it
Yeah.
went to America, didn't
Yeah,
it?
and I got it back from
Oh, yes, I think you were telling me
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it,
He said he couldn't find time. Anyway, I'm restoring it.
Yeah.
All I can't find is that inlet manifold. That's the only thing that's still outstanding. So anyway, when it's
John
done,
Hume's all around today now.
when it's done, we want to try and put it next to this.
Yeah, why not?
That's the idea. So I just wanted to let you know
I
that.
did 9 seconds of that, fastest.
That's
Even
scary.
Clive didn't get any faster until he changed it for the top-mounted blower and everything.
That's cheating.
Even then, he didn't go any faster.
Well, it's nice to see that you're reminiscing of it. Yes. After all these days and years. But,
We did a lot of rallies together, several Monte Carlos and lots of international rallies.
amazing. My partner, Mr. Burton, used to talk to me about rallies and things. He knew your father quite
Well, he did everything, father, you know, to follow
Everybody
him.
knew your dad. I mean, every time he went somewhere, he says, I met you back in the war. I can remember you back then. But what an event coming up now. I'm so pleased to see that Beaulieu endorsing.
So good, isn't it? Yeah, they're marvellous. Yeah.
So how do I get in touch with you about this dragster? Should I just give you my card?
Yeah, just do that.
Send me an email.
I'll send you an email and tell you what we're doing. And
then I can tell you what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't have any cards on me.
That's you? Just get in contact and then I can send you updates. That's
Will he look up and smile? Thank you.
We've got it on share if we're here. They're all nice. We'll say to them. That's right. We said looking to your dad to take the picture. Take it and then they go, no, that's Formula One because they don't know where they're going. Please only go straight. That's